learn how to turn a 19th century bed. Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin. I teach old-fashioned sewing skills, and today is the 5th Monday of the month, which is typically where we learn how to mend clothes. But when I say I just filmed, I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of my filming, and I just filmed a Mending Monday, so there's no mending clothes to do. And so I looked around going, what else could we do? I realized that last year with the wedding, we made a bunch of bedding on the channel, and I said, oh yeah, one day I'll show you how it fits on a bed and how it all looks. And we never got to that. So I figured let's do that today. And to make it somewhat historically educational, I'm going to show you how to turn a 19th century bed and all the parts and pieces that go into a 19th century bed. So I have an antique bed here. I have no idea where it dates from. I know it's pre-1900, that's all I know. It comes off in lots of pieces, which is fun, especially when you're moving it. That's really nice, and it is a 4-poster bed. It's about a full size. It's actually about 2 or 3 inches larger than a full size, which is nice. It's like, and there goes the cat automatic feeder. And so yeah, I kind of have what is essentially a 19th century bed, even like the mattresses and such, because I wanted to go something a little bit more non-toxic in our life, and a mattress was an easy way to do it. And so yeah, what I have here is a feather bed. I actually have 2 of them on our bed because we have our one that we use for living history, and then we have the actual one that's supposed to go on this bed. I got 2 of them without realizing that we only use the living history one like every once in a while. So like we could have just had that one and then just taken off the bed for living history. So now I have 2, and I just keep them both on the bed so I don't have to store this one. So that's not quite authentic, but yeah, I do have 2 of them. All right, and then we have a 100% cotton mattress, which is essentially a futon mattress. If you're looking for a 100% cotton mattress, it is like an inch or 2. It's like an inch or 2 shorter on each side than an actual mattress. So if you're fitting like a real bed, it may be hard. But because my bed is 2 inches smaller than a queen bed, it actually works out perfectly for this futon mattress. I lucked out. Okay, so all right. So the way that turning works is that with a very natural mattress, you do have to continually turn it so the cotton and the stuffing doesn't like form to your body. You want it to constantly move it. So I move my beds about once every 2 weeks. It's not terrible. It's not like I'm having to do this every night or every day. About every 2 weeks I turn it. And this time I'm going to turn it this way. Aha! It's not hard. It's a little heavy and a little bulky, but it's not bad. And I can do it myself, it's not a problem. And so now what was at the head got flipped over. So next time, instead of flipping it back, I'm going to turn it this way so that what was on the right is now on the left, because we each have different sides, and so we wear things out differently. So hopefully that made sense. And now I get to put the feather beds back on. I like to really fluff them up. Make them nice and fluffy. And it used to be the same size as the mattress, but then the cat peed on it, and I had to wash it, and it shrunk quite a bit. So I'm actually kind of glad we have this other one. I'm going to add that for a little bit extra fluff. These are like the warmest beds. These are the nicest, fluffiest beds. Way better than a modern mattress. And I don't really like soft beds, but I found that if you do like soft beds, you just fluff it more often. If you don't like soft beds, then you just leave it because they will squish down. So I wash my sheets about once a week, so I'm fluffing these out like once a week. And it's like, I love wash day or new bed day because it's like the most comfortable bed ever. Okay. You see how fluffy it is now. Now our sheets, it's summer, so I'm using the cotton sheets. And I'll show you a bit more when we turn, when I go on that side. What I am doing, because I don't keep fitted sheets. They're a nuisance that I don't believe ever should have been invented. And so all I'm doing is taking one of my straight sheets and tucking it all underneath and doing the same on the sides. Apparently that's how the military still does their beds. All I gotta say is I see so many people complaining about fitted sheets, and I'm just like, why, if you hate them so much, why do you use them? They're not, you can do 2 non-fitted sheets and just tuck it underneath. You don't have to, unless you're like an extremely rough sleeper, you don't have to like adjust it every day. They still fit very well. Right, so here's this corner. I'm gonna pull this tight, pull it down underneath, and then I lift up all the mattresses, tuck this underneath. I don't care if it looks particularly nice. And that's the method of putting on the sheet. So now comes the top sheet, which is just another regular sheet. And I tuck this one on the bottom, but not anywhere else. Now I still have not made my own coverlet. I've put the loom up. It just has other projects on it right now. One day I will make my own coverlet for this, but this is a store-bought cotton one. That's 3. And then I have, this is my wedding quilt that my grandmother made me. And this goes at the edge for the foot. I don't use it so much now, but it was really nice in the winter. Now pillows. These are all feather pillows. Now, I don't live a 19th century life, and I don't necessarily wish I did all the time, but there are things I don't mind doing, like having a completely non-toxic mattress that is really cheap compared to the non-toxic options. I think the whole mattress setup cost me like $400. I think it was like $200 for the futon, and then $100 for shipping, more or less, and then the feather portion I got on sale was like 89 bucks or something. So it was less than $300 for the whole setup. There's our pillowcases. That will look better when I redo this and make it like white and black and not brown and black. And there's our fancy little decorative pillow. So yeah, that is how I make my bed. Again, that's like, the whole thing is only like every 2 weeks. Like on the off weeks, because I do change out sheets every week. I do 1 week where I'm just changing sheets, and then the next week I will flip the bed and all of that. So I don't have to do it all every single week. Anyway, if you are curious about how beds in the 19th century worked, that's how mine works. And I see that a lot in 19th century like literature when you talk about beds. You know, there was a wool mattress or cotton mattress, or sometimes this stuff with Spanish moss or whatever underneath, and then you have a feather bed, which is basically a feather mattress, feather tick over top, and then all your bedding. So yes, that is how you do a 19th century bed. You know, probably not with all the pillows that are more decorative, but underneath it is a historically accurate bed. It does look a little bit lumpy. I could like smooth it out a little bit more, like on this side. Like if you really care how it looks, you can definitely make it look a whole lot nicer. So yeah, that's the bed. That's how you make a historic bed. No, it's not modern or Instagram perfect, but it's how things used to be done, and I think it's still perfectly serviceable and extremely comfortable. So that's what we do in our house. And again, it's definitely not, I don't know, conventional, modern, how things are done. I consider my house to be a very vintage farmhouse, and I say that and people think, the modern farmhouse style. I'm like, no, that's not farmhouse. I don't see real farmhouses that look anything like what you see online. That's not a real farmhouse. That's just wealth pretending to be farmhouse, if that makes sense. Mine is a functional vintage farmhouse filled with antiques that are well loved, in most cases broken, and they show a lot of wear. And the house is decorated with antiques, but most of them are functional antiques. They are used, they still serve the purpose they were made for, like this bed, which, yes, is not a conventional married couple's bed, because yeah, it's a lot smaller. We don't mind that. There's still plenty of space between us. There's no need to have anything bigger. This works perfectly fine, and couples for hundreds of years slept in beds that are this size, and so I see no reason why we can't as well. I'm all about practicality, and I love the history behind the old antiques. They're pretty, they're functional. I may not know the whole story or the whole, where it came from or anything, but it's still serving its purpose, and I don't see any reason to change if it works for us. And that's our historic bed. So it's interesting. It's something you don't see very much anymore as far as people making up historic beds and actually doing that anymore. But I did say on the channel when I made the bedding that I would eventually show you how it was all put together. And I realized I've completely forgotten that. So here it is. This is the bedding being used. There are the pillowcases. There's all the sheets, and there's a coverlet and the quilt that I showed on camera. And so yes, if you're wondering if we actually do use it, yes we do. This is what we do all the time. So, and if you haven't seen the bedding video but are interested, I will link those down below. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining me today as we made up a historic bed and turned it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell notification so you're notified anytime I upload a new video. And as always, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you back here in the next video.